Good morning. How you doing today? My name's Clarence T. Brown, talkingabout.com, www.talkingabout.com, Talking About Limited Liability Corporation. First thing I want to let you know is I try to be as authentic as possible when I'm doing these things. It's always my endeavor to be honest and real and upfront. And with that being said, I have to tell you, today was rough. It was hard for me to get up this morning. I 4:30 rolled around. I'm going to pop up out of the bed and I'm good to go and I'm ready to get started with my day. But this morning, it was a magnet on my back. Just wanted to keep me there. So I laid down for about an extra 10 minutes and then I finally said, you know what? You're cheating yourself. You're cheating yourself. Get up. And so I was able to pull myself up of the bed and to get moving. And I think it's a couple of different things that are going on. The first thing is I was tired. I'm simply tired. Just burning the candles at both ends. Like I said in the beginning, it's not going to be an easy task. It's just that you have to have something inside of you, something inside of your mind that's pulling you harder than the bed, pulling you harder than sleep. Sleep is important, so I don't want anybody to underestimate the fact that you have to get some rest. But sleep is also overrated as far as I'm concerned. And so this 30 days, I'm endeavoring to charge, and go. Like the rhinoceros that we talked about the other day. And so I had to decide, okay, I'm just going to get up out of the bed and I'm going to make it happen. That was the first thing. The second thing was, as I told you yesterday, I had like a minor setback. Kind of had to restructure and reframe everything I was doing. So then when I sat down at the computer this morning, I drew a blank. And in my mind, I'm trying to figure out what should I be doing? What direction should I be taking right now? And the truth is, the direction hadn't changed. It's just that I met a setback. But what we tend to do when we meet these setbacks, we start to question and second guess everything that we're doing. And then we tend to be frozen in time. And so we actually lose time, which is what we don't have a lot of since we're doing this before and after working our AM and PM sessions. And so what I had to do was sit down and refocus myself. I had to recenter myself so that I could move forward with power. And the first thing, I'm actually in the process of writing another book, and I've been writing this book for a while. And so the first thing I said, okay, well, let me start back writing on the book. And that really wasn't the right move for me. I really wasn't in a state of mind to write on a book because I'm actually after a task, and I know where I'm supposed to be going. And the book is secondary, but it gave me a familiar course, and it makes me think. You know how sometimes when we meet an obstacle, what we do is we go back to what's familiar. A lot of times, again, if we being that this is hard and it's something that we don't have to do because we actually can work in the safety of everybody else's corporations for the rest of our lives, not being fulfilled. And so what happens is when we meet a brick wall or meet an obstacle, we say, well, you know what? I got a job. I'm getting paid. I might as well just stop playing and stop fooling myself into thinking that I can do this and go on back and work for a living. And I'm here to tell you that that's the wrong method. Please do not take that approach. But I am also wanting you to understand that it will happen. It is something that comes through our mind. You just have to be the gatekeeper of your mind and say, no, that's not going to be an option for me. And so don't want you to actually go back to what's familiar. And that's what I did. I went back to what's familiar. And after about a minute in, I said, you know what? This is not what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And so then I went back over to the computer and started doing some more research on websites. And I said, you know what? This is really not what I'm supposed to be doing either. Yesterday, I met an obstacle and I have to refocus and recenter myself so that I can start moving forward with power again. And so what I actually did was I sat down and started asking myself some hard questions. And then I kind of had a self session or a self mastery session where I sat down and started asking myself some hard questions. And I started out with the basic questions: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And so I wrote those questions down or typed those questions out, and I started asking myself, who are you? Okay, what are you trying to accomplish? When would you like for it to be accomplished? How are you going to go about doing it? And I asked myself those hard questions because what it was starting to do was actually recenter me and refocus me and recalibrate me. And so that's what you have to do when you find yourself getting off on a tangent, because just the slightest deviation from your plan right now can mean a little bit, but down through time it'll spread out. And so what'll start out here will end up here if you don't stop it before too long. And so that's the process I was taking myself through this morning. I sat down and I recentered myself, refocused myself, recalibrated myself so that I can move forward with power. And it got kind of exciting for me because it kind of reminded me of why I'm in this in the first place. And if it's something that you feel like you were destined to do, if you were created to do it, the why you got into it in the first place is the thing that will always ignite you. It will always ignite you because you realize that the reason why you get into it is because you've been created to make that difference. And if you don't make that difference will not be made. And so for me, I understand the difference that I was created to make. And when I start thinking back to the fact that if I don't do this now, I am hindering the growth and productivity of somebody else because what the piece of the puzzle that I came to this earth to share, to bring, to plug in is not there. It's missing. It's void. And so for me, that gave me a resurgence of energy. It gave me a sense of purpose because I'm saying, oh my goodness, I can't let them down. I can't let this world down. I'm here for this purpose. I got to move forward. I got to do it. And so that's what I want you to start doing. I want you to start looking at it from that perspective. You have to look at perspective. You're going to meet obstacles and you're going to fall down sometimes. Sometimes you're going to even sleep in. I wouldn't allow myself to do it, but sometimes you will sleep in. But then what you have to do is you have to sit down and you have to refocus yourself. And you have to understand, hey, this is the purpose for which I was created. And if I don't bring this piece of puzzle to the world, this piece of the puzzle will not get here. And if this piece of the puzzle does not get here, the world will not be complete. We're here to be completers of the world. All of us. Not one of us, but all of us. And so I implore you to, if you get meet a minor setback the way I did, to sit down, refocus yourself, ask the simple questions. Who, what, when, where, why, how. But ask the hard questions and dig deep. And so you can get that reaffirmation that, hey, I am here for a purpose, and I know what that purpose is, and I know how to execute. I may not know all the avenues that I need to go down, but I'm open to the avenues. But at least I'm moving in the right direction. Thank you for listening to me. This is my AM session. Got to get off here and head into the job so I can do what I was hired to do. My Volvo ship is in full effect. Minor setback, but we're moving forward. I appreciate you listening. Again, you can reach out to me on the web at www.talkingabout.com, www.talkingabout.com. You can email me at Clarence T. Brown at talkingabout.com or call me on my phone at 703-563-9161. Have a great and productive day. I will see you again this evening.